YouTube recommended me this video with 4 million views, so I checked out the account that posted it, and this is the only type of content they post. I checked if it's monetized, and yes, it is monetized and is making over $10,000 every month. That's because many of their videos have between 2 to 4 million views. Curious about how difficult it would be to create something similar, I played their most viewed video. Next, I went to Canva to see if I could make such a video, and yes, I did, and I'm here to share steps. After watching this tutorial, you can start your own comparison channel, not just for football, but like many of these other successful channels that compare almost everything, as you can see. First, let's open Canva, and from the main dashboard, just search for YouTube thumbnail. And then from the results, just select any because what we need is just the format of the thumbnail. Once on the editing timeline, delete all the elements of the thumbnail until you are left with a blank page, then change the color of the background to white. Next, click on Elements on the left menu, and then search for 3 image frame. Click on See All, and here are so many frames you can use. Since we only want 3 players to occupy the screen at one given time, just like the video I showed you earlier, I looked for a good 3 image frame, but couldn't find one that is good enough. So I just picked this as my frame. Since it has more than 3, I just zoomed in until all other boxes are out of the screen as I'm doing here. Now let's change this green color to white using this color changer here. Once the frame is set, just click on the letter R on your keyboard and a rectangle will appear on your timeline. So resize it by dragging it all the way to the end, exactly like our example here. Let's change its color to dark blue and then place it at the lower end of the image frames. Duplicate the rectangle and drag it down a bit to make the second rectangle that we will use to place our text, and change its color to red. Don't worry, we won't have to do this again as we will just duplicate this and change the images of the player later. Now, go to the Elements again and search for a black line. Then resize it to make it the same size as the screen. Just place it between the image frames and then duplicate it, and put the duplicated lines between the remaining image frames as shown on screen. Also, place one line between the 2 rectangles, as this will make the text look organized later. Finally, it's time to add the images of the players, and for this, we will use Canva's copy-paste feature to our advantage. Just open your browser and search for the player you want. For example, I search for Messi and then click on the Images tab. Here are so many images of Lionel Messi, so once you find the one you want to use, just right-click on it and then select Copy. Go back to your Canva design and just press Ctrl+V on your keyboard and the image will appear on the screen, easy peasy. Now just drag the Messi image into the first frame, and if you think it's not fitting well, just double-click on it and you will be able to drag the image until it fits the frame well. Now, I don't want to waste our time, so I will speed up the other 2 players as I'm just copying Ronaldo's image, pasting it here, and then copying the image of Mohamed Salah and pasting it on the timeline. Now, I'm done with the images part. The next part is writing the names of the players, just like the example we are following. So just click on the Text tab and then click on Add a heading text. Type the name of the player, and then change the text to yellow. Now just do the same for the other players and we are done with that too. Now it's time to tell how many clubs each player played for. For this section, we just ask Google because I don't have much knowledge about football, so pardon me if I make mistakes here. I asked Google how many clubs Messi played for, and this is the answer, 3 clubs. So I just go to the Messi box and type in 3 clubs, and then I will find the logos of those clubs. As I said before, we won't have to do this again and again, as we will just duplicate this and change the images of the player later if we need more players. I also did the same for Ronaldo and Mohamed Salah, but I can already see a mistake on Ronaldo, but I will rectify it later. Now it's time to find the logos of the clubs, and I don't have to show that to you as you just need to search for the team, copy the logo and paste it here. I will be using these circle frames to make the logos circular as some of them have odd shapes. So I'm speeding up as I add the logos for the teams, and here I am done with all of them. Plus I have corrected the error on Ronaldo, as he played for 5 clubs and not 6. Finally, we are done, and if I compare what we made versus what is here, I think we are all good to save our image, so just click on Share and then download your image. Now the next one will be easy, because if I click on Duplicate, I get a duplicate design, and I will just need to change the image of the players, their names, and the number of clubs. First, I brought in Haaland, then Rashford, then this famous player here from Boss Media Tech. I changed their names, and it's as easy as that. If you want to keep adding players, again, I can search for the teams Haaland played for, but as you already know what to do, let me save you some time and we go to the next step. We are now on the final step, where we will combine the images and add an endless slide effect to make them more engaging. First, open a new project in CapCut and import all the images we created in Canva. Drag one of the images into the timeline and stretch its duration to 20 seconds by referencing the time marks at the top. Next, go to the beginning of the image and add a keyframe. Now drag the image out of the screen from left to right, as I'm doing here. Once you've done that, go to the end of the image and add another keyframe. For this keyframe, drag the image again, but this time move it to the opposite side of the screen, meaning from right to left, until it's completely hidden. This is how the first image should look with the keyframes. Now duplicate the image and place the duplicate right after the original one. Once you've placed it, drag a new image and place it on top of the duplicate. This copies the keyframes we added to the first image, so we don't have to keep adding keyframes over and over again. The duplicated image will have the same length as the first one too. Again, just duplicate the second image and place it after the original. Drag a new image, which is the third one on top of this duplicate, and now we have 3 images in sequence. Now let's make them flow like an endless carousel. To do this, play the clip and pause it right before the right end of the first image is about to appear on screen. Drag the second image to this point so it moves immediately after, as I'm showing. Next, play the second image, and again pause just before its right side appears. Now drag the third image into this spot where it starts to come in. Just make sure the next image is ready to come out. Before the preceding ones is out of the screen, I also added some text and music at the beginning of the video. And there you have it, the final result.